Thinking about moving to Suwanee, Georgia? Here's what you need to know. First of all, I know it's a super weird spelling. It's pronounced Suwanee, and the reason is because Suwanee has a history having to do with the Native American population, and Suwanee is an old Cherokee name that comes from the word Shawnee. I guess when people settled there and started to pronounce it, at some point they started to pronounce it Suwanee, which is why we now have that super awkward spelling. But the history in that city is a very rich Native American population history. Today, Suwanee is one of Metro Atlanta's most popular suburbs. Suwanee is in Gwinnett County, which is northeast of the city of Atlanta. And Gwinnett County and Suwanee are really very well known for having some of the best school districts in all of Metro Atlanta. Schools like North Gwinnett High School, which is a 9 out of 10 on greatschools.org, Settlesbridge Elementary School, which is a 9 out of 10, and Riverwatch Middle School, also a 9 out of 10 on greatschools.org. The average school rating in Suwanee is right around 9 out of 10, and so really any part of the city of Suwanee that you live in, you're going to be in a very good school district. To put that into some perspective, the city of Atlanta is in Fulton County, and the schools there are all okay, not so good. It really depends on what part of Fulton County you're in. And Marietta is in Cobb County, which has very good schools as well. But Gwinnett County is certainly the best in all of Metro Atlanta for school quality. Suwanee is not a very big city, so most of the things like shopping and restaurants that you would do if you were living in Suwanee can be found in some of the cities that are just outside of Suwanee, like Duluth or also Beaufort. So really that's where most of the commercial areas can be found. There is some commercial areas in Suwanee, like in the city center, the downtown part of Suwanee. There is some commercial areas there, but the majority of it is really outside of the city. So like most of the residents who live in Suwanee, it's very common to go outside of Suwanee for shopping or for things that you might need on your day-to-day activities. Speaking of the city center of Suwanee, Suwanee has Town Center, which is a very popular area and really kind of fits the bill for that city center feel that you find in many other suburbs. Like Marietta has Marietta Square, Roswell has downtown Roswell, Suwanee has Town Center, which is a great place to hang out. There's a super huge like park, green lawn space there that they have in Town Center. Lots of people hanging out there all the time. I believe there's also an amphitheater there in Suwanee. And then right next to this park or this green space is a bunch of commercial spaces with restaurants and shopping. So super popular is Suwanee Town Center. The average home value in Suwanee is $640,000 with a range as low as $400,000 up to as high as $1 or $2 million. The style of homes that you would find in Suwanee are very typical traditional style homes, contemporary style homes. They do have some older homes there, maybe some 70s and 80s style ranch homes. And then I would say only about a quarter of the homes in Suwanee actually have a basement. So it's not very common to find a basement in Suwanee. But overall, the kind of homes that you would find there in Suwanee are the very typical kind of like suburban homes that you would find in most of the other suburbs of Metro Atlanta. That kind of traditional style home or contemporary style home. You know, we have a lot of homes there in Suwanee with like brick faces or brick siding. Also, we do have some brick homes in Suwanee, Georgia, but the most common kind of facade or siding that you would find in Suwanee is the kind of cement board siding that you would find in a typical traditional style home. Suwanee certainly has that suburban feel to it, so it's not very rural. You're not going to find big lots of land on the homes there. I would say the average is probably about half an acre. I mean, it will range a lot depending on what neighborhood you're in Suwanee, as low as 1/10 of an acre to as high as 1 or 2 acres, but the average is going to be right around a half an acre. This is kind of the most common thing for the city of Suwanee. Some of the major roads that run through Suwanee are Interstate 85 and Beaufort Highway. As you can imagine, Buford Highway runs also through the city of Buford, and Interstate 85 is the main interstate for getting to the city of Atlanta from Suwanee. Many of the residents who live in Suwanee will work in Atlanta, so it's very common for there to be that rush hour traffic from the suburbs into the city of Atlanta in the mornings and then the opposite direction in the evenings. So if you're living in Suwanee, you really want to try to avoid Interstate 85 and Buford Highway unless you really have to be on those roads. Buford Highway does get some traffic here and there. It's not quite as common as Interstate 85, but Interstate 85 is very well known for having some of the worst traffic in all of Metro Atlanta. As far as demographics go, the city of Suwanee is one of the most racially diverse cities in all of Metro Atlanta. Suwanee really does a great job of being very inclusive of all the ethnicities. Really, all of the suburbs of Metro Atlanta do a good job of being inclusive. I guess it's just more common in the city of Suwanee. It's just more common for there to be other cultures and other ethnicities in Suwanee. No part of Metro Atlanta is dangerous or unaccepting of other cultures, other ethnicities. All of the suburbs that we talk about, especially on this channel, are all very safe for any culture or any ethnicity, but Suwanee really does a great job of having that kind of diversity that you really might not find in some of the other suburbs of Metro Atlanta. As far as things to do in the city of Suwanee, keep in mind that most of the people who live in Suwanee are young families with kids. So there isn't a whole lot of like super exciting, like thrill-seeking things to do in the city of Suwanee. It's really made up of that kind of demographic, young families and kids. So the majority of what there is to do in Suwanee is go to a park, be in nature, restaurants, shopping, the typical kind of suburban lifestyle. Just one city to the west of Suwanee is Alpharetta, Georgia. If you want to know more about Alpharetta and how it compares to Suwanee, Georgia, check out this video where we talk all about Alpharetta. See you there.